Hello, my name is Greg Perugini, and today we'll be doing for our physics labs, lab number 3. Now, lab number 3 is on projectile motion. Projectile motion is motion in 2 dimensions, the y and the x. And when I launch something, I have a range, how far it goes. Of course, there is a maximum height. And how far it goes and how high it goes, of course, depends upon the angle I launch at and the velocity initial. Now, the velocity initial, if we look at it as components, can be broken into its velocity initial in the y direction and velocity initial in the x direction. So, how are we going to calculate these things? Well, let's go to the equipment that we'll be using. Okay, so here's the equipment we have here. You'll be using a tape measure. You'll be using our protractor, our projectile motion launcher, and the ball. So, if you look at what we're going to do, one of the first things we need to do is measure the angle that we're projecting our marble. Once we've measured that, we want to give ourselves plenty of room, and you want to pull back on this and launch the marble. That distance, you want to try to mark that, and you're going to want to do that several times. You want to mark that distance. Okay, now let's go back to the board. Once we know the distance as measured by the tape measure, and we know this angle as measured by protractor, you should be able to use the equations in the book to calculate the maximum height, the velocity initial of the launcher. You want to do this 4 or 5 times, recording your data and submitting it. So that's the lab number 3.